people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fingers and say, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy.
Welcome to the mother relay. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Uh-oh. There it is. You know it's a big deal when we break out the breaking news music. This happening right now, and this, again, an indication that we are live and we react to things in real time. A developing story that we talked about at the beginning of the show continues to develop. The Ring magazine has just reported that they've learned that the WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson is hunting, quote-unquote, for a late replacement. Floyd-Schofield has fallen ill and was pulled from the fight by the British Boxing Board of Control. They just tweeted this out moments ago. There it is, according to Ring, which we must mention, is owned by Turki Al-Sheikh. So one would say a reliable source. According to the Ring as well, and according to their reporting, they say, according to a source, two of the options being considered include the Moroccan fighter Moussa Gholam and Josh Padley. And so I guess the good news here is they're looking for a very late replacement. Shakur is not left on the sidelines, but this fight, which had so much juice to it, so much back and forth, and all the drama and all the mystery surrounding the no-shows back in January and today, now officially, painfully, seems to be off at it.
And so Stevenson versus Schofield is off and the hunt for a stand-in opponent begins. What do I think happened? The British Boxing Board of Control, who oversee the fights in Saudi, are the ones who called it off. Though on what premise? What premise exactly? You say that Floyd Schofield has fallen ill. What's he got? Tummy ache? Mud butt? In an interview released Friday afternoon with Andre Ward, Shakur Stevenson had doubts about his fight with Floyd Schofield coming into fruition. Would seem those doubts were realized. Shakur stated, "I'm actually scared that Floyd Schofield won't show up to the fight. I just feel like they're looking for a way out, and so they have found it." Rumors abound. There are suspicions of foul play, that Snack Systems, on the behalf of Shakur Stevenson, poisoned Floyd Schofield. That's what Floyd Schofield's father said on social media. Floyd Schofield's father handles his Twitter account, and he said, "They poisoned my son. Is this Snack's work? Shakur's massage lady wiped a cream on my son." Dubious strength and conditioning coach Memo Heredia chimed in saying, "We truly believe someone tried to poison Benavidez versus Plant. We fought through it and won. But is it or was it Caleb Plant, a Snack Systems fighter? I just remember." You believe this shit? No. But ever since Ryan Garcia tried to lay the blame for his positive test at the feet of Snack Systems due to Victor Conti's association with VADA and Devin Haney, everybody's taking aim at them. They've become the fall guy for whatever happens. That's where it started. So that now, Floyd's father can use this as an excuse to get out of the Shakur Stevenson fight, the one that they asked for. These are not serious people. All of the insinuations that they've been making in the build-up, it boils down to one simple question for me. Does Shakur Stevenson have to poison Floyd Schofield to beat him? No. No. Shakur Stevenson was the massive favorite going in. Why the hell would he have to poison Floyd Schofield, who's tantamount to a prospect? You don't see the pattern? What do Floyd Schofield and William Zepeda have in common? They were both supposed to fight Shakur Stevenson, and they both ended up pulling out. What else? Both times it was said to be due to medical reasons. And what else? They are both Golden Boy Promotions fighters. There's a clear pattern there, a clear pattern of behavior when faced with fighting Shakur Stevenson. I don't think anybody poisoned Floyd Schofield because nobody has to poison Floyd Schofield. That's ridiculous. But as it pertains to American boxing and the American boxing fan, Americans in a very general sense are willing to entertain all manner of tomfoolery without any substance. The American content creators are sure to run with this for clicks and make whatever insinuations they want to make, since the story is still hot, not dissimilar from what they did with the whole Glovegate fiasco back in 2020. That never held any water, and I don't think this does either. I think at the last minute, they got cold feet, they realized they weren't gonna win. I don't think they ever really wanted this fight to begin with. I think they put that out there not expecting that the fight would actually get made. That when William Zepeda dropped out, Floyd's daddy thought he could attach Floyd's name to Shakur for some press to get some attention, not realizing that Turkey would actually make the fight. And they took it because they asked for it. They don't want to look stupid. But they didn't really want it, so they found a way out. No, I don't think Floyd Schofield was poisoned. But if they're going to make Snack Systems the fall guy, you know what Victor ought to do? Sue them for defamation. Sue them for slander. Sue them for libel. If what you guys are going to try to do now is drag me and my name in the mud, make me responsible for whatever you've got going on, you better be able to prove it. If what you're going to do is say that somebody on my side poisoned you, you better produce a toxicology report. Show me what poison is coursing through your veins. What poison? Who did it? When did it happen? You better be able to prove it. You're taking Victor's side? No, I'm taking Shakur's, because I don't think the Schofields ever really wanted this thing. They thought they could jump online and talk a bunch of shit like they see everybody else do, not expecting that the fight would happen, not expecting that Turkey would make it. So that when it's offered to them, they felt pressured to take it. But they didn't really want it. It's a prevalent pattern in the American boxing scene to waste everybody's time. William did, and I understand William is a Mexican national, but he's based out of America, he fights in America, fights under the same banner as Floyd Schofield, same story. Wasting people's time. No, I don't think anybody poisoned Floyd Schofield, because why would Shakur Stevenson, of all people, have to? He was the massive favorite to win. It's nonsense. This is Floyd's daddy's doing. This is a cockamamie effort to pull his son out of a fight he knew he was going to lose because he got caught running his mouth. And his son was going to have to pay the piper. He was going to be the one that pays for it. So they cook up an excuse so he doesn't feel so good. He's got a tummy ache. Nonsense. Men's junior middleweight news. Ahead of his own fight this weekend, Virgil Ortiz Jr. hints at a move to middleweight ahead of Ortiz-Madrimov showdown. The fight many are expecting to be the chief instigator of entertainment on Saturday's incredible bill in Saudi pits Virgil Ortiz against Ortiz-Madrimov with the former's WBC interim junior middleweight strap at stake. Ortiz, who can boast an impressive 22-0 with 21 KOs stats, embarks on his fourth fight at 154 after establishing his reputation at welterweight. Contests against the likes of Jaron Ennis, a current belt holder at 147, have been reported, but he suggested a move to middleweight might be in his future. I feel really good at this junior middleweight class, and I'm willing to stay here for a long time, said the 26-year-old. If an opportunity comes at 160, we'll take that too. Madrimov, meanwhile, last fought in August when he surpassed expectations by doing what few have done before when he provided Terence Crawford with a competitive fight. I learned a lot against Terence Crawford, Madrimov said. Ortiz is a top fighter and a big challenge after Crawford, but I have a plan to win. Should the 10-1 with one draw, 7 knockouts Madrimov win, the belt on the line will be the secondary to enhancing his standing in the sport. It's important to get the title, said the 30-year-old, but I showed myself in the Crawford fight. So Virgil is now entertaining the idea that he might move up to the middleweight division for the right fight, the right opportunity, but he's only 4 fights into his junior middleweight campaign. 3, really. The Madrimov fight will be the 4th fight. And out of the 3 fights that he's had so far as a junior middleweight, only one of them was against a bona fide junior middleweight. Israel will be only the 2nd. Sergey was the 1st. 2 guys before that were Frederick Lawson and Thomas Dulorme. Those guys ain't bona fide junior middleweights, and you can't read anything into fights with them at 154. Doesn't mean shit. Now that things are starting to get interesting, they're courting the idea of moving up to middleweight that is nowhere near as deep as junior middleweight is right now. Right now, there are a lot of live bodies at 154. A lot of great fights.
What do you want to go to 160 for?
He says it's got to be for the right opportunity, but what opportunities are there at middleweight?
Sounds to me like it's something that he already had on his mind. When Virgil suffered that case of rhabdomyolysis and he was on his way back, I suggested that he should skip 154 and go straight to 160. Even though it's not as deep a division,
It's a much easier weight for Virgil to make, that he might as well just go up there and get his feet wet up there, acclimate, because 154 is too close to 147.
how long will it be before you start struggling to make that weight? 4 fights in, he's talking about moving to 160.
Ahead of the Madrimov fight that former champion Ishe Smith is picking Israel Madrimov to win. He said, I'm leaning towards Madrimov to pull the upset. Virgil may have bit off more than he can chew. Crawford had his hands full, and Ortiz is no Crawford.
I mean, that's true. They're very different fighters, Virgil Ortiz and Terence Crawford.
Very difficult fight for me to edge, because Israel Madrimov has the right style for the job, but not a lot of experience. And granted that Terence Crawford is a better fighter, way better fighter, than anybody Virgil has fought so far, Terence Crawford is not a carbon copy of Virgil.
You fight Virgil, and it's a very different fight, where Terence Crawford is going to hang back and work off the counter, take his time and pick his moments. Virgil's going to barrel forward, try to crowd you, try to put pressure on you.
It's a faster pace than what you saw in the Crawford fight.
It's either you're going to be able to use his aggression against him to walk him into hard counters, or you're going to become flustered because of the pace, and it's going to wear you out.
Wear you down, because it's a more physical fight than the Terence Crawford fight was. As good as Crawford is, him and Virgil don't fight nothing alike.
If Virgil were to go in there and wear out Israel Madrimov, that's a statement. That would be a statement win if he can stop him where Terence didn't.
Same is true in reverse, though. If Israel Madrimov beats Virgil Ortiz, gives him his first loss, worse, if he stops him, that's a statement, too.
It's hard to know what's going to happen. I'd feel a lot more confident in Israel Madrimov if he had some more fights and some more experience, more rounds in the bank.
What's interesting is Virgil's already talking about a move up to middleweight, having not spent a whole lot of time at junior middleweight. Is he tight at the weight? Is it getting difficult to make? Because if it is, that could show up in his punch resistance, or the lack thereof.
If it was hard to get there.
And there'll be a lot more sting in Madrimov's punches as a result. Very difficult fight to edge, even with that intangible.
And now it's time for some hate mail.
Disgruntled viewers who don't seem to like my perspectives but go out of their way to know what they are. Guy who goes by the name Elias Alvarado 2178 said, always yapping about David, but always chooses him to win fights and proves you wrong.
It doesn't make any sense. If I'm picking him to win the fights he's having, where is he proving me wrong?
Talking about he's not going to be ringside, then he accepts the invite. Make up your mind.
I never said he wasn't going to. I said I'd be surprised if he would.
Either he's trash or not.
Oh, he's trash. He's definitely trash. I think he's trash. I think his resume is trash. I think he's trash.
The real question is, why does that bother you? If you're at odds with what I say or what I think, then why do you keep going out of your way to come here?
What morons like Eleazar don't seem to understand is whenever they leave a comment on one of my videos, I can pull up every single comment for every single video they've commented on, and it seems like you spend a lot of time here.
Why?
If you're gonna get butthurt every time I take a shot at David Benavidez, then I guess you better get the Ben Gay, because I do that a lot.
I'm supposed to be impressed that he waited until after Caleb Plant got knocked out by Canelo to fight him when he could have fought him before?
When he was a champion, when they were both champions.
It looks to me like you waited for Canelo to soften him up before you felt it was safe to fight him. That's how it looks, and I'm supposed to be impressed that you fought a 36-year-old middleweight in Demetrius Andrade who did absolutely nothing at super middleweight?
Why would that be impressive?
Supposed to be impressed you couldn't knock out Caleb Plant, who's been knocked out. Impressed that you couldn't knock out Vosdick, who's also been knocked out. Impressed that you didn't knock out David Morrell and he only has 11 fights, but you're supposed to be a monster.
A monster can't knock out a guy with only 11 fights?
So that you can feel like you've got a battery in your back when you hear that he's going to be ringside for this weekend's fights? So what?
It's no guarantee that he's gonna fight the winner.
And you're getting mad at me because I'm saying I've got to see it to believe it.
Why don't you just watch somebody else then?
There are literally more boxing YouTube channels in the YTBC now than there ever were in previous instances. There's no shortage of channels you can watch that are high on David Benavidez. You're mad that I'm not because you've got far too much stock in what I think.
Judging from how many comments you've left me, you spend a lot of time here, so you know I'm usually right.
No, I never said David wasn't gonna go. I said I'd be surprised if he does, because I don't think he's gonna fight the winner of that fight. And I still don't think that. You don't like it?
Fly a kite.
Kick a rock. Find something to do so you can get the hell off of my dick.
Another one.
A weirdo who follows me on not one, but 2 social media platforms. A guy who goes by the name The Opinion Sports.
He didn't like my stance on Top Rank's inability to develop a pay-per-view star in this era as a result of the PBC freezing out their fighters.
Freezing out Terrence Crawford, more specifically. He said, you can't make this up. This guy blames Top Rank's failures on the PBC. On one hand, he says PBC is trash.
It is.
But then said Top Rank fighters needed PBC to thrive to the mainstream and cross over.
No, that's not what I said.
Sounds like Top Rank are the ones that suck, and that's why ESPN is kicking them off the platform. PBC fighters have solid fan bases, and Top Rank guys...
Solid fan bases? Then why do their pay-per-views not sell?
Outside of Inouye and Fury, don't. Top Rank can't promote. The days of HBO are over.
More like the days of Showtime are over, which is what you're really mad about. What you're really mad about is that when I said Showtime was going to leave the sport of boxing and kick the PBC to the curb, I was right.
When I said Fox would do it, and when I said Showtime would do it after that, I was right.
So now you're looking at ESPN potentially leaving the sport of boxing because we don't know if they're going to yet as some sort of payback.
Do you Nimrods realize how much time you spend on other people's opinions? People's opinions who you claim you don't even like, yet you go out of your way to watch them. This is another guy who leaves me comments in video after video after video.
You have way too much stock in what I think.
Why should it bother you if I think the PBC is a flaming pile of garbage and an abject failure? Why should that matter to you? You like them.
That should be enough, right?
Wrong. What we're dealing with here is a full-grown adult that has an inferiority complex. It should be enough for him that he likes the PBC and he likes what they're doing, but he actually takes it personal if a complete stranger online doesn't. If a complete stranger online doesn't share in his opinion.
He thinks he's Al Heyman's avenging angel.
And he thinks that all of this is his revenge. But hypothetically speaking, if ESPN does leave the sport of boxing, and that reflects poorly on Top Rank, isn't it then worse for the PBC that they've been booted off more networks more times than Top Rank?
NBC, Fox, Showtime, ITV in the UK.
By your own logic, that makes the PBC look worse.
His logic?
What logic is that? Stalk a complete stranger online on not one, but 2 separate social media platforms while getting your predictions wrong and uploading videos that nobody's watching.
His logic.
His name is The Opinion.
But he seems more focused on mine.
His name is The Opinion.
But no one listens to his online.
So he's got plenty of time to stalk my channel and try to wag his finger in my face and try to tell me what I was wrong about.
PBC fighters make good punching bags.
When Tyson Fury used Wilder as a punching bag, don't you see, that's when he peaked. That's when his popularity soared, because PBC fighters are good punching bags.
It's the logic I applied to Terrence. If Terrence would have got the Spence fight sooner, he would have peaked sooner.
And perhaps became a pay-per-view star, because PBC fighters ain't nothing but cannon fodder. They're nothing but really good punching bags.
You're not so bad yourself.
Because you're my punching bag.